Everybody, it's me, Rolando G. Just want to do my commentary about the situation in the untimely death. May he rest in peace of the brother, the OG fellow Afro male that went down to Barranquilla, Colombia, and tried to set himself up the restaurant business and buy the apartments. My thing is, I think he was a little bit too overzealous. He was too trusting of the situation. I know I haven't been in situations like that before myself, but I can tell you right now that if there were situations like that, I would, really be cautious, because I just don't trust anybody or anything sometimes, really, to really be honest. But I do get a sense, if you are a good person, I want to, and you show me and prove to me that you're a good friend, and you come through with, information, or, hey, look out for this, look out for that. Just alone do that. I know that you're a good dude, and shout out to a lot of the guys that were holding me down when I was going through my little situation, earlier 2 years ago. But, or I'm sorry, in the past 2 years ago. But anyway, but Timothy Reed, like most of us fellow Afro men, he got tired of what was going on here. I know I'm getting tired of what's going on here in the United States, dealing with, COVID, Americans, and how rude they are, and how they're rude, especially to Afro-American black men. I mean, shout out to Mad Bus Driver, but black men are still getting flack out here, and a lot of us are not really successful in the interracial dating aspect of SYSBM just yet. I'm hoping I can, but it's still a struggle. And I live in Northern California, and it is mad uppity out here. This is the most expensive place in the United States, and in California alone. I mean, people here are so COVID sensitive that they'll just like socially distancing. I mean, I had one young Caucasian white male come at me sideways because he thought I was all up on him, and I wasn't socially distancing from him. So this is how bad it's gotten here. When I went to Rio de Janeiro for those 5 days I did last year, and shout out to Nabi for holding me down when I was down there. I'm going to be honest with you. None of them people were coming off like this here. People are coming off like this here, and it's very irritating. I shouldn't let it get to me, but it's very irritating how people are so damn COVID sensitive, man. It really gets on my nerves, and I'm trying my best to really maintain my composure. I got a lot of hostility still living here. Like, I don't want to live here, but I'm doing a lot right now for my family. I'm trying to, be an uncle to my little niece. I don't want her not knowing me. I could make moves right now, but right now, I got to get myself, I'm still trying to get myself a little bit financially up to where I need to be to make those kind of moves. And I want to make a move like Timothy Reed did. I don't want to own my own business in another country quite yet. I'm not comfortable with that. I want to do something simple as to, work for the embassy maybe, and I'm probably more or less probably going to do that in Brazil, because most of you know on my channel how very serious I am about Brazil, and I want to, be very fluent in the in the Brazilian Portuguese, language, and so I'm right now trying to prepare myself to study more on how I can do that more, and so I can be, just well lit, like guys like Dennis, like Dennis Jean-Pierre, and like Nabi. Shout out to them who, are showing that you can do it. But, like in a sense, I really want to live there. I'm not just talking about just going down there and traveling out of year to year. I know I want to be there. I know that it's a different atmosphere. I understand that. I'm ready for a simple life. I don't like the life that the United States represents now. So I feel like Timothy Reed. But Timothy Reed, he was a little bit too overzealous. He was making drastic moves. He should have been more careful. Never listened to a woman. because a lot of these women, even in these so-called foreign countries or Latin countries, they want you, they're coming from a situation where their stuff's not right. I don't want to get on the way his woman looked, to each his own. I wouldn't pick a woman like that, and I wouldn't pick a woman of that certain nationality, even in Colombia. He should have been. I'm not saying who he should have been with, but there was another photo where he took another photo with another Latina Colombiana that was more Spaniard looking. He probably should have hooked up with a more Spanish, looking one. I don't know, but the way it came off, it was almost like, to me, when he was with that melanated one, he was getting sent into the danger. Okay, and she wasn't even peeping game on that. Okay, and she shouldn't even know her own men in her country and how they feel. Now, I heard that Colombian men are not too bad with us. You remember a guy used to travel a lot by I Am Awa. I Am Awa, he went many a times down to Colombia and talked with Colombian men. And they were like, yeah, come on down, it's good here, the women, we don't care if you get with our women. And they didn't really give a care if you got with the guys he was talking to. But maybe these guys that were older, a little bit older, close to, Timothy Reed's age, they're well seasoned, they're on like that Pablo Escobar. I don't want to go there, but they probably were on that. They were on some undercover Pablo Escobar shit, and you can't escape that because that culture is down there. Ever since Pablo Escobar did what he did, people were probably very influenced by what tactics he used. And those other gangs and people who are in power down there in certain sects and certain barrios, if you come off disrespecting them, and probably most of them do own some of those properties there. But when I heard also that, and shout out to Christopher Owens for bringing, because I'm basically verbatim kind of quoting what he was saying about how the whole situation came off. Timothy Reed should have been really doing his best to do a little bit better research. He should have been looking for more legit, proper tier people down there, more embassy type folks that could show him a better way to do that, because they do have embassy people that can give you direction on how to approach coming down there as a gringo expat. Because even though I'm not saying we're gringo, but gringo means you're an American. And Mr. Reed was an American. He's from the ATL. I mean, how American can you get? The black ATL. Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, coming straight from Black Folk City, Iowa. And he didn't know what he was getting himself into. Colombia is a totally different Latino culture, and they speak more Spanish over there. Had he had done this over in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, maybe, but you got to really develop a relationship. Just like, shout out again to Reluctant Navi. He's established himself in Rio de Janeiro, in the favelas, with the people that he that cover, that cover and maintain the NGO. You have to understand, you got to make good with these people. You got to really, as they used to say in Hollywood, rub elbows, make people feel that you are down. Because if you don't do that, and he was doing videos like, oh, I don't trust him, he doesn't trust me, and I don't trust this, and I'm doing this for my safety. That's putting a big target on your back, and you're doing it right in front of these people, and they feel like that's some kind of disrespect. They really do. So, Mr. Reed, may he rest in peace, but he went down there the wrong way, and I totally agree. And this is my commentary and my opinion, but not just my opinion, but my side of the coin of where I'm coming from, because a lot of brothers are not really covering this. And when you go to certain countries in Latin America, you got to be very careful. No matter if it's Venezuela, Peru, Uruguay, Paraguay, it doesn't matter. You have to be on the lookout. You have to BOL, as they tell me at my new job. BLL. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for such and such and such and such. He looks like he may not be such and such and such, but he is. He's done certain things, for us to profile him this way. I'm not saying go down there trying to profile people, but you got to really be on your P's and Q's. And I mean, they're so bad. I mean, it's so different down there. Somebody will get shot in broad daylight, and this brother got shot in broad daylight, and it was a big spectacle. And I mean, I don't know how much involved his fiance was. I don't think she was that involved. I think she probably didn't think herself, because she was thinking about, oh, look, imagine all the money that this Afro-American man I'm with is bringing from the United States. They said he put, what, 4,000, 6,000 pesos? That's $150,000. That was a lot of money. They said that was his whole life savings. I was like, what? I mean, with $150,000, shoot, I could have just, stayed there for a year and then thought about it. Or at least, see what's up with other situations, and then go to the embassy, try to get a little bit of some ideas of what to do and how to be directed in the right place to go about it. And when you get down here, be in contact with your local American embassies. Don't just because, just don't turn your back fully to the U.S. I mean, I'm not trying to say do that. I know we as fellow Afro-American men, we feel like our back is against the wall. We don't have a lot of people that love us or support us. I mean, I got family that sort of supports me, but they interrogate me about it. But that's just how the BAW does. And I'm the only male in my family, and it's tough for me sometimes. But I know someday I'm going to be making a move just like Mr. Reed. And I need to know this is what not to do. And now I see it. I'm not going to go down there making dangerous deals with people I don't know, with people I have not even talked to over a period of time. Get familiar with. Hell, Mr. Reed didn't even pick up the Spanish language. He could have just be, at least do, I'm not even fluent in Brazilian Portuguese, but I know certain common words and phrases that they use down there, and in terms of endearment, friendships, family, certain lingos and slangs that they use. I've picked it up. He could have just picked up a little bit of slang in terms of endearment, or how they ever pronounce it, just in small phrases or something. He didn't even do that. The whole time he was acting like a typical American. And if you don't trust anything that much, why are you there? Why are you even there? I'm not trying to get on this man. I know he's not here to defend himself. I know it's real bad talking ill of the dead on what they should have did, but this is a cautionary tale. This is a cautionary tale. And to me, Colombia looks a little more dangerous than Brazil, to me, in my opinion. I mean, I know that Brazil and the Rio de Janeiro favelas can be very dangerous, but it ain't the same thing. It ain't the same thing. This was different. He did a business deal with some thugs, with some gangsters that had ties to other people. And just because they're not outright looking like a thug and a gangster, don't mean that they are. Looks can be very deceiving. And a lot of you fellow Afro-Americans, y'all, as what's his name said before, though I don't totally agree with him, but Brother Logic of Common Sense said, y'all don't understand optics. You don't understand optics. You just go anywhere and everywhere. And we've done various, and we're all human. We've done very vicarious things. I've done very vicarious things. People think I did vicariously went to Rio de Janeiro last year. I didn't check. My sister was getting on me, telling me that I didn't do it right. I didn't go. What was there a wrong or right? It was my first situation. Everybody's going to have a not so good situation when they first come to a country. But the way but he did, and I'm very proud of Mr. Reed in some ways. I wouldn't have been able to do all this. I was very timid when I went down to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. But now that I'm back, and now that I've rejuvenated and thought about what the trip was all about, I'm like, okay, I can do this again. And I'm probably going to go somewhere different this time on my own. But I digress, But I'm going to be, more prepared than he is. And I'm going to put myself, and I'm going to hold myself to that. I'm going to put my feet to the fire saying I don't want to be like Mr. Reed. I want to go to this side of Brazil. I want to be able to adapt to the culture more. I want to be able to, rub some elbows, get to know some people, come back down, make several trips in and out every other year, every 6 months to a year. and see what happens, and then once I feel comfortable, once I've met the people that I can trust and they like me and I like them, and I build up a rapport, a positive rapport, then I can start going down there and making things happen. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, let this story about, Mr. Timothy Reed be a testament, that we all have to be on our P's and Q's as Afro men. Just because you're an Afro man in another country don't mean that you cannot get got. Don't mean that somebody don't like you. I'm not trying to scare myself. But this situation really got to me saying, hey, it ain't safe. It ain't safe for any of us, even in other countries. And when we go, and the only thing that we're doing wrong down there is we're being too overzealous. We're being too impatient to start something. Don't start a business when you don't even know the people that well. Okay? And they I don't even know if it's really true. I mean, and shout out to Chris Owens. I'm not trying to say that you're not telling us the truth about this whole thing. And you probably got some inside, intel about what went down. They saying he basically paid this man to move his family out. And now the guy retaliated? I find that hard to believe. How is this Colombian man gonna tell his Colombian family or relatives or whoever was in these apartments to move out and let this brother think that he's getting something just because he put down this money? I don't know, but okay, I guess now you kill him and you take his money. So I'm trying to understand where this was going, where this was really going, and how nobody, and even his own. And this is why even women in other countries, you got to be careful the kind of women that you're with. If you're with a money-hungry woman or a woman that wants to see you so overzealous, now she might have wanted to see her Mr. Reed fiance succeed. She probably one of these Afro-Latinas that wanted to see a black gringo man that she's married to succeed down in her country, because maybe there was some love for the country, maybe a little bit, but he still did not trust anything. That's the problem. So, let this be a testament. And when a lot of you brothers travel to Colombia, I haven't been yet. I've only been a smidge down to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, a smidge. So I have a little bit leverage to say, be like me. Not be afraid, but just be very dumb. I didn't know, but do it in a way that's very innocent, that's not being disrespectful. And a lot of the baby boomers and Generation X era age people, they get this where, I'm just gonna say how it is, and I don't give a care about my surroundings. But we as the Zennial and Millennial generation, hopefully with our early Zennial born cut off millennials from the Generation X, we even got the sense to understand that, hey, when we go down here, this is what not to do. And I'm going to be on my P's and Q's. Okay? And if you got folks that down here that knows other folks that are good folks, plug into those people. Network. That's what you got to do. Start networking. Stop automatically going down there thinking it's going to be all to the good, because sometimes it's not all to the good. And you're going to start businesses and buy out property straight off the gate and not establish yourself as a person with great intentions, with love and respect for the culture. It sounds like Mr. Reed didn't really have all that. He was just trying to escape the matrix, and we're all trying to escape the matrix at some point. Most of us who want to live abroad. I know I do, because I'm tired of going through what I'm going through here. It's not working for me anymore. Yeah, back in the early 2000s when I got up out of high school, I was trying to see if it was going to work. But up until this point, now in my late 30s, soon to be early 40s, I'm like, no, this ain't working for me no more. I'm sorry to my mother and my sister. They want me to see how they view the United States. I don't view the United States like that anymore. I feel like being here is a hindrance. It's not moving me forward. It's being an actual hindrance. But I'm striving every day to work my plan. But at the end of the day, let us just Mr. Reed's situation as a testament. So we got to be very cautious, be mindful of our surroundings, not take anything for granted. And the best way to go about these types of situations is network to the fullest degree. Network, stay positive, be friendly, act like you have respect for the culture, learn the language, try to speak the language, try to show that level of respect, because this is a different spot you're going into. Never think just because, oh, well, I'm from the United States, and that's what we keep thinking as Americans. We think, oh, it's going to be just like that down there. I live with somebody who, but they admit that they don't know what goes down. But I'm letting them know, since I have a little bit of experience from what I did see when I was in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and what I lightly experienced, I still held my level of respect. I was acting like I was totally nonchalant to everything, which I was. I'm not just go down there and bogart and act like I know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. You got to understand, a lot of these people don't have a lot of pleasantries and government pleasantries that we have here. You know, I know we complain a lot because a lot of us are struggling and want to get to the top like everybody else is. But you know, but you got to understand what these people go through on a constant basis. You know, but Timothy Reed, again, R.I.P. But let this be a testament to those of us brothers who are trying to move abroad. Don't be too overzealous to start any type of business in a country you have not established yourself thoroughly in. That's all I have to say. Condolences to his family, to anybody else in his family. If he had kids, I don't know if he did. You know, it's very sad, but we still do our traveling thing. We still do our abroad and overseas thing, and it's not going to stop. Brothers are knowing what time it is. We got to get out the matrix. All right. It's Rolando G. You guys stay safe. Have a great weekend. Until next time. Till my next video. Peace.